Not stuck, friends. We'll continue now. So we are going to talk about something really useful for us. That is this one. Can you see my screen now? Just
Yes,
confirm
sir.
if you
Yes.
can see my
Yes,
screen.
sir.
Yeah, thank you. So this is the topic we need to talk today. What is that we need to discuss? That is list slicing and list comprehension. It's very useful topic. And definitely when you are working and in any project, this helps you a lot actually. And comprehensions definitely has a lot of use when you are working in any kind of development environment. Okay, now let us see this now. So first we'll go with slicing. Slicing we are already familiar. Suppose if you want some part of list, then we apply slicing, and you know how slicing works, right? Let me just open. Let's continue here itself. Slicing means you take any list, something like list one equal to something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, some 7, 8, 9, something like this. So this is a list, right? I want to split this list into two parts. Okay, first part, this 1 to 4 into one part and comma. Okay, and this 5 to 9 into one part. So the easiest way is so split this list into two parts. Split list into two parts. Okay, and apply slicing for that. This is the simple scenario, right? You know how to apply slicing, right? Slicing. This is the simple scenario. Slicing means list has indexing as usual, like what we had discussed in the very beginning in the introduction session of list. It has some indexing 0 and then 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then sorry. Okay, 0, 1, 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 5 and then 6. This is all indexing, positive index, and then 8. And you know very well, list also has negative indexing. Maybe if you want, you can spread this a bit just to accommodate that negative indexing as well. And we all of us know this very clearly. We don't have any issue with that. Okay. So let's add the indexing to this now. So this is 1 and then 2 and then 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7. Just spreading it to make sure we are very clear. Now we can start negative indexing from the end of list. It starts with -1 and then right. Better you start from here. We have 9 elements, means the length of list is 9. So we can say -1, -9. You can start with -9 and then okay, -8 and then it comes till -1. I'm not adding everything here, putting dots, and starts with -9 to -1. So this is the indexing. And why we are again discussing about indexing here, if we should apply slicing, understanding about indexing is important. Having a clear idea about indexing is very important. So that's why I'm just quickly recapping this indexing scenario. You got it right, friends. This is how. Now the requirement is we need to split this list into two parts, right? And then using slicing, simple, right? So what do you do? Just take this list, copy this list. Now you can go to the PyCharm. Okay. And then what you can do, go to the PyCharm. I think it's slightly getting delayed. Not sure why today. Usually we don't have this issue. Okay, let me open it. Okay, so still it is not completely open. There is some network issue, I believe. struggling today. It's okay. We'll just wait a minute here. Or else what I can do is I can also create a program with Notepad itself directly. I'll show you how to run from Notepad as well. Do you want to have that experience? Now we are good. Sure. Do you want me one exam? Do you want me to show how to create a program in Notepad and run that as well? Simple. Go to this Notepad and open a fresh Notepad. I'll write here. Even but these days anyhow we are not depending on this approach. But sometime like 10-15 years back, people were doing development in Notepad only. Okay. So when these tools were not developed, and at that time Notepad is the biggest tool for development. Right? When Google is not that improvised, we don't have chat GPTs. People used to do it with mind itself. Okay. So it is taking time. Let's not waste time. Let's get here and come here, come into the list, and you can right click and then say, what is that you need to say? So right click. That right click itself is taking time to get that. Okay. No problem. Even this is taking time. Not sure why. Usually we don't have this issue. Right click. Yeah, now we are fine. Then new Python slicing. Okay. I just put a program name as a Python underscore slicing. Okay. And then press enter. For some reason today, I don't see this issue somewhere so far. Now, what is that? Once we create this program, just copy this list. Okay, copy this list. Let's split this into two parts. Okay. What do? We come on, buddy. Yeah, slowly it's coming. Not sure why. Okay. So update list here now. Let us do a split here. Split. What is that split? First 4 into one list and next 5 into one list. That's simple. Then what? Simple, right? So you can do one thing. So you can break down into two lists. First underscore list equal to simply apply slicing. List one of start with 0. Even if you don't mention 0, nothing happens. We need first 4 values, right? Then you mention 4 itself here. So it takes up to 3. So this itself extracts first 4 elements. Similarly, what is next thing? Next thing is second list. We need another list here. That is second list. So next last 5 elements has to be into that. Right from where you have to extract from fourth index onwards, because 5 starts with 4. 5 is in fourth index, and now start splitting from 4. Not sure. We'll have little patience, friends. Not sure why this is. Usually we don't have this issue. Maybe I should have restarted this before the session. Yeah, should be fine now. See here, just make this change here, slicing. So you start with 4 and put colon and just leave it like that. You don't need to do anything. If you want, you can just mention the last index of this value. Okay, 9th is the last value. So if you want, pass the index of 9, but as you are trying to extract second half of the list, if you just specify this starting of second list, that would be enough. 4 is enough, and then it will extract the rest of the list. Just if you can leave that end index empty here. Okay, I think I had discussed all this. If you don't mention anything in the first position start index, then by default it takes it as 0. If you don't mention anything at the end index, by default it will automatically assume the end index as the last index as the endpoint. Okay. So now anyhow, run this, you get complete list here. So finally what you have to do is print off. So just print it, friends. Okay. So you can directly, if you want, you can directly print it instead of adding all that first underscore list. Okay. And then similarly, you need to print one more list, second list. So this is after doing split using. So we are just splitting list using slicing here. Slicing is also very useful tool in programming. Okay. Right click and then just run this code. Run this. Then you can see here two lists perfectly split here. This is a simple program to implement on slicing. Suppose I want last 3 digits, right? So then how do you do slicing? Simple, right? So this is the concept of slicing. We did this slicing number of times even on strings as well, right? So if I want last 3, again, simply you can just say list one of. So, if you don't know what is the index of all this, last 3, right? There is a negative indexing that helps you to get last 3. You can start with the -1 colon and then last 3. Somebody says last 3 means start with negative index. That's easy for you to get that, right? Or last 4, if somebody says -1 to -4, right? -5, I believe. Then automatically this gets you last 4 elements. Then, right, this end index is excluded. It won't consider this end index -5. This is discussed number of times as well while discussing strings also. Right, it takes the start index, but it takes end index -1, which is nothing but up to here. It takes up to -4. Okay. Now, what do we do right now? Print this directly. If you want, you can print it. This gets, you can add a small comment here just to make sure what you are doing. Okay. Get last 4 elements or last 3, whatever it is. We don't have an issue because we know only thing that should strike in your mind is negative index is there. Using negative index, we can easily extract last n elements. You got it right. If that strikes into your mind, this is a very simple job, friends. Okay. And then close this here and then right click and then run this. Let's see what we get here. We got totally an empty list. -1, 2. What is that we need? -1, -2. Just a minute.
No, we should start from -5 to -1.
Okay, okay. I think I took it the other way. Fine. Let's do this now. Last 3, right? Maybe you can directly put like this. Yeah. Then -4 to -1 should be fine. Let's check on this. Let's see what we get here. Yeah. We got 6, 7, 8. We what do we need? We need a 6, 7, 8, 9. Then I believe we should put what is that? Shall we put 0?
No, not required. No, it's not required. We can give it blank.
Yes, yes, we can leave. Let's leave it at blank then. This should be fine. Yeah. So we are able to extract last 4 digits and using this negative index should help us. Okay. Is this fine for you? So see, this is one more scenario, how to get last 4 elements using negative index. So maybe you can see there is couple of this thing there. We did, I have tried with -1 to -4. It didn't work. Later on, we modified it to -4
If it is
to some.
like -1 to -4, we can give a step definition -1. Then it will go in a reverse direction.
Yeah.
Like -1 to -5 before you gone, right? For that, if you give step -1, it will be reversed.
Okay, I got it. Okay, this is fine, right? So we are able to extract last 4 digits here. That's it, friends. Okay. Next. So like this, you can apply slicing in whatever the way we want. And if anything is, if you don't get expected output, just change that indices here. That's all. That is the simple trick. Nothing more than that. And still, if you have issue, then you can just go ahead and search in the Stack Overflow or like in Chat GPT and get the required thing. That's all. Maybe if you are in the office, I believe you can have access to Stack Overflow. These are all something which we can explore and we can get it, friends. That's it. So this is a simple program. So to get last 4 elements here, got it, friends. So let me just share you this with you. Let me copy and paste in the chat box. This should be useful to you. Maybe if, please test that code and see if you are getting expected output. Maybe you can take few more scenarios. How to get like middle 3 elements or first 3 elements. This is slicing. Like based on that, you can create apply slicing here. So you can take 2 more scenarios. How to get first 3, that anyhow you can do. And middle 3 elements, how to get that. Okay, just give a try on all this. Okay. So that will makes your understanding of slicing much more better here. That's it, friends. Okay. Next after that. So we are done with this slicing and we just try to understand how to split a list into 2 parts and then how to also extract last 4 elements by using negative index. So all this is fine. Okay. Next after that. So I see few scenarios here for slicing. Given a list, create a new list contains elements from the second list, second to fourth item. This we can do. We don't need it. And use slicing to reverse a list. The reverse a list means simple, right? This is a simple process. What is that? Some list one of simple, right? Here you can put double colon -1. This will quickly reverse the whole list. This is a very simple and quick process for reversing. Last time we were doing some reversing scenario and I forget to add this approach to that reversing. We tried different ways of reversing and this is one more way of doing a reversing in a very quick and fast way. And just in a, you can see it's very simple and short. So this is one more scenario, right click and then run this. Now you can see the whole list got reversed just like that. So this is one more use case maybe for this slicing. And of course, you can take many more. There will be number of scenarios. We will also keep working while working with our programs. We keep applying slicing, friends. Okay, let's copy this. Let me share this also with you. So which has reverse scenario as well. Now next after this. So are you okay with slicing? Got some idea how to implement slicing and how to apply this slice? Maybe this all this we can just get it, friends. Not this is not really difficult. This is something very simple. Just only needs a bit of practice on this. That's all. Okay, no problem. Next after that is we go with one more beautiful scenario in this data structures. This is very much useful. This list comprehensions. And this comprehension concept is not just applied only on list. We can apply this on list, tuple, dictionary, even on set also. So that and these list comprehensions are the powerful way of simplifying or optimizing code. Like 5 to 10 lines of code, you can just put it in one line and just do magic. So that is how that much powerful these comprehensions are. And no problem. Initially, it looks little difficult for us, but it's all practice again. See, when you have that curiosity, we have different sources, right? Only thing is you need to know, understand the approach. That's all. So when you are in development, understanding the approach is important. So we can get data from anywhere. There are different sources these days. What is comprehension? That is the quick question. Comprehension means instead of implementing in a freestyle coding, if you want to just write a code in a compact form, what form? So there are two things. One is a freestyle of coding. Okay, what we are generally doing, what we are doing here, all this is a freestyle coding, friends. There is another style of coding which we call compact coding. Okay, that compact coding we generally achieve through comprehensions. Okay, I'm writing here so that even if you don't understand in my voice, this whatever I'm typing here should give you a clear idea, right? So we will take two scenarios. One scenario, our general scenario, another scenario, comprehensive scenario, so that you get a clear idea. Later on, while doing our programs, we'll try to again take 2, 3 levels of implementation, one regular implementation. If the same thing, how we can implement by adding these comprehensions so that overall you will get a clear idea, friends. You got it right. So that is the idea. Understood now? Freestyle coding is one, right? This is a standard coding. Generally, we keep following. Okay, we keep doing. Now let us take an example. This is before I go for an example. This is the syntax of comprehension, list comprehension. See, this is more or less doing a code in a simplified form or in a compact form. And if it is a list comprehension, it has this index here, this list operator here. You can see this square brackets. Inside this, you have expression, that logic part here. That this expression can be a logic or it can be any boolean something or that something which does some kind of logic. And then we can have what this is step two. This comprehension has just two steps, and one step is logic, second step is iterator, two steps. So you can simply write here iterator, otherwise expression space iterator. So these are the two steps we have in this simple comprehension, right? So what this does here, same thing what we do regularly, all that is implemented in a simple compact form. That is why we use this, friends. Let us take an example and see so that you get an idea. We have an example here now, but as we didn't have a clear idea as of now, some of you might little get confused what is this. So when we had a detailed discussion, then you automatically feel that this is nothing, this is much more simple when you understand the everything in detail. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's create a standard code. And that standard code, what we do, we try to apply it for comprehension. The best thing for this scenario is applying some squares. So just to get a quick idea, applying squares of first 10 digits. Okay, let's take that. Okay. Now what do you do? Go to the PyCharm. What do you do? We go in two ways, friends. First, understand the syntax. This has two parts, an expression part and a iterator part. What part? We can simplify this. Instead of for also, we can just add here iterator as per syntax. This is an iterator space. Of course, we can add condition as well. We can have three different parts in comprehension, an expression, an iterator. Also, if you want, you can put a condition. I will go one by one. Let's not rush. Let's make sure we clearly go step by step. Right, we are doing this program, printing first to 10 squares. Okay, squares of first 10 digits. Okay, from 1 to 10. Let's do that now. 10 digits from 1 to 10. This is any of us can do that. Do one thing. Go to this one and create a simple program, new. And here, what is that? Create. What is that we want? We want squares. And then list underscore, I'll put like this. Squares. Okay, enter. And take a list here. List one equal to first thing. Add 1 to 10 numbers in this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Create a list of 10 digits. We can do this dynamically by using range function. Also, we can do this using range function, but I'm giving it directly a hard coded list here. This is hard coded list. Now, what do we want? We are creating, the program is simple. So first thing, creating a list of 10 digits. Okay, I'm just adding comment here. Always using comments is a very good practice, friends. When you go to the development, this is very much needed. And why I am typing every time is because to make sure you also follow this. Because if I just don't do it directly, you might not, again, you might ignore that. That's why I'm every time I'm keeping comments to make sure you also get into that. Okay. Next after that. So logic part. Logic is simple, right? Iterate list. What is the logic? Iterate list and do this square one by one. Doing squares is the very simple thing. Okay. So what is that I should do? Iterate list. Okay. And do square of each value. Square of, I am clearly writing here, each value here. So what do I do now for I in, what is that? I in list one colon and just if you want you can print it directly. If you want squares I comma then that is I is actual value, I into I is the square and this gives you list of all squares. But okay, as we are working on lists we do one thing. Let's have one more list. Let's write all these squares into another list, which is, let's create one list here. Let's put all the squares into one more list. So I name that list as a squares list. What is that? And declare an empty squares list like this. These are all simple things, friends. But if you are really clear with fundamentals, doing this is not simple. Okay. I created a squares list, which is empty one now. Right after this, I don't want to print it just like that. What I want to do is I want to square off each value and add it to the squares list. By now, all of you know how to do that, right? But we can use append method and we can add square by square. How do you do that? It's very simple, right? Now, square list dot append of I into I. This will automatically add square of each element, each value into this squares list. After this, if you print it, after doing complete this thing, okay, printing squares. What I am doing now, just print off squares list. Now, if you run this, you can see here, you can find squares list here, but printing just squares is alone is not sufficient. The good thing is print the actual list as well. Okay. What is that? The input list as well. Print the input list here. Just copy and paste it here and then paste it here. Okay. You can see here, friends. Got it right? So this is actually the input list. And for that we are getting squares list. That is fine. So this is all we are doing to implement squares of each element of a list. Now I want to do the same using, this is standard coding process. Now how to rewrite this for comprehension? I want to rewrite this code with the list comprehension, right? If you use list comprehension, we have at least some 5 lines of code here. That 5 lines we can just cut down into just one line. That's all, friends. But if you understand each step here, then it's easy for us to do this approach. What is that? You got a clear idea about each step in this code, right? Now let us rewrite the same to list comprehension. So refining the same. Here I am just writing refining with list comprehension or rewriting with list comprehension. Let's see this. How do you do that? It is very simple. Apply square brackets. You can say some squares list. Again, we have squares list is there. So you can just write squares list 2 equal to. Then here, first thing is logic. You have a logic, right? You are creating a logic that you have to pass as, right? What is the syntax of list comprehension? Here, this is expression. You can see the syntax here. What is the syntax? If you see the syntax, first expression, after that iterator. In expression place, you put your logic. In iterator place, I'll just show you how simple it will be. I'm copying from here. Same thing you do, just place it in place of iterator. We are done. We don't need to do anything now. So we are, whatever we did here, Same thing is just done here with this simple comprehension. See, we have this expression in place of expression, which is nothing but in place of expression, we just added logic, right? We just implemented logic here. In place of iterator, whatever you want to iterate, then we just applied iterate. We are iterating on list that we are passing here. Now, done, we are done. This one line has this all lines of code. That's all, friends. So now print it. Maybe if you are in doubt or something, what we can do, we can say squares list 2. Now right click and run this. You can see same output for even this list comprehension. Got it right? By looking at this, whatever we are achieving with all these lines of code, same thing we are achieving with just what? With just one line of code. And you can see that is the difference here. So now you should be very clear what is comprehension. Comprehension is nothing but it is a simplified way of writing compact coding. This is compact coding, right? See, just we write a very lengthy thing in just one line of code, right? Both are good. This is a good practice. Even this is a good practice. You got it right. But only thing
Real time,
is
which one is, sir?
we use both. Who is that? We can use both,
Okay, sir.
right? Tulsi, you can follow this approach or you can rewrite the same thing with this. Maybe if wherever you think it's possible, you can add that list comprehension. If you are confident and you can apply list comprehension, use that. And in real time, you can follow adding list comprehension if you are confident. You got it?
Yes, sir, got it, sir.
Yeah. It all depends on your expertization, Tulsi. If you are expertised in implementing comprehensions, if you want to rewrite everything with comprehensions, everything in sense, wherever comprehension is applied, not in every scenario, there you can choose comprehension. Got it? Anyhow, you understand that approach when we keep doing next 15 to 20 sessions by you'll get a clear idea. We go with a standard practice. I will also make sure that we apply how we can rewrite that with comprehensions as well. That itself gives you an idea. That's it. So that's it. Next after this is about a simple program of comprehension. So I'm just sharing this with you in the chat box. Maybe you can what you can do. Maybe you can use it and practice. For some reason, it's not. Anyhow, I'll share all this programs in a zip format. You can copy, you can again take it and practice, no problem. Next after that is this is one thing we are just done with one simple list comprehension. Same thing to this list comprehension. We can also do one thing, friends. What is that? We can apply a condition also. What is that? We can apply a condition. You can see here. So expression, iterator, and condition. You can remove if there because if you want to add any condition, if must exist. Without if you don't expect a condition. Okay. So this is a 3-parameter iterator. We can have an iterator at least should have 2 parameters. That is one thing. And it can also have 3 parameters to do filtering also. Right. So and in a simple way, this will be the syntax of second style 2. Maybe you can add a condition also, right? And even style 3 is same, but here instead of this condition, you can choose what is that ternary operator. This is a ternary thing. If you remember, we had discussed operators. In that operators, we use this ternary concept. We discussed ternary. This is more or less applying a kind of ternary operator here. Okay, that is style 3. Let's go with style 2 now. What do? We do one thing. We just want to print that even numbers from 1 to 10. Let us take that scenario. So I'm going with that. Again, right click, create new. Let's create a new program for list comprehension. New Python file. So list also let me put that comprehension so that we don't It's easy for us to identify those programs. List comprehension underscore even check. This should make more sense for us. Okay. Now what do you do? Just create a simple program, a list of numbers, same what we had used here. Maybe this one, list squares. Okay, use this list itself because it has both combination of even and odd. Next after this is a standard code. Okay. What is that? Checking even or something. This is a standard program which we can do for I in something like what is that list one. Maybe if you want to add all those even numbers, you can create a simple list here, even list equal to something like this. Okay, and now what you can do, you can add this even numbers. You can do some filter here. You can apply some validation and check if I is even. And if it is even, you should add that number, even number to this even list. So if what is that for that? If I percentile 2 equal to 0, we had already discussed this kind of programs, number of programs on this basic logics. Okay. If I percentile 2 equal to 0, then what is that we should do? Just append if it is even, then add that I to even list. We are done. This is a simple program to check if a number is even or not. And if it is even, we are adding it to the even list. Now what you do? You can just print this even list and right click and run this. You can see here we got all even numbers. That is fine. But our main agenda is not to implement this standard program, but we need to implement the same thing with the list comprehension. Let's rewrite the same thing with the so so checking printing events. Okay, even values using what list comprehension. Okay, now what do we do? It's simple. Open square brackets. You can assign your result. Okay, just even underscore list to equal to. You just create the square brackets and your logic. This time, this might change a bit here. Okay, we can directly first let's start with iterator for I in what is that list one. Okay, if we have to add a condition here. What is that? If I percentile to equal to 0. Okay, then so we have iterator, we have condition. If this is true, then we should add this I to list. So simply pass I here. Just add I. Your expression this time is just a value. Here the point is expression need not to be a logic every time. Sometimes we can directly pass values here. And you can see it has all these three different parameters, right? It has a expression here and the value is in place of expression, which we are directly passing I if it is even. Next, we have iterator, right, which iterates each element on the list of 10 numbers. And at the same time, every time we iterate, we check if it is even or not. If it is even, we should add that I to the list here. Now, just print it now. Even list 2 and then right click and then run this. Now you can see we got the same output. We achieved same result in both of this, in both of approaches, But the difference is you can only observe the difference. And maybe if you ask me a question like which one should we choose, you can always go for comprehension wherever and whenever you can add something. It's up to you. Got it, right? If you are working in a project, if you want to add comprehensions, yes, we can add comprehension. Nobody is going to come and question us. Okay. So, but you should be really clear with that and then apply that scenario. That's it, friends. So that's all. Anyhow, will bring multiple scenarios on that, how to add comprehensions in place of a regular code so that you also get that understanding. Okay, you become hands-on or that thought process will be developed to implement these kind of use cases, right? So that's it. This is all about implementing this one. Which one? this style 2 comprehension, list comprehension, where we can take 3 parameters in that. Even you can add a condition check and you can create that. You can apply comprehension on whichever scenario you think it should be fine for you. Okay. But generally, uh, usually while using comprehensions, one difficult thing is you it will be little complicated sometimes, right? In such cases, you should clearly understand what you are doing and what you are adding to the list comprehension. So that is the only thing. But apart from that, of course, for majority of the scenarios, you can always get solution somewhere or the other if we can't implement. So we should know how to get it. That's all, friends. Okay. And this is also same as this one only. What is that? True if condition else false. Maybe you can also use this scenario. What is that? I'll just do one thing. You can see here, right? You can apply this. Suppose you want to print in place of that number if it is even or if it is odd, just want to display some this thing. Anyhow, we know how to check if number is even or not. Applying which one? Ternary operators. You can take this example. Which example? This one. Okay, list of comprehensions to create a new list based on a condition. Condition means this one. This is a ternary operator here, right? Okay. If I copy and paste, you might not get a clear an idea on that. So I'll do one thing. Let's rewrite the same thing. So this time, what is that? Add even in place of even value. Okay, and odd in place of odd value. That's what that logic will do in place of even value, and odd in place of odd value. Are you getting the problem? See, understanding problem is very important. If you understand what is that problem, you have 50% of the solution, friends. The rest of the thing is doing understand doing analysis. Okay, add even in place of even value, odd in place of odd value. Let's give a try on this. Some new even list equal to, what is that you can do? Simply, you can take this one again and you can apply for I in what is that? List one. So this you can leave it like that and apply a comprehension here. What is that? Simply you can pass whatever you want. Even if I percentile, this is actually a ternary operator. You can go ahead and check the syntax as well. I had discussed this some time back. Maybe if you want, I'll show you the syntax one more time. I'll just show you a quick syntax. Ternary operators in Python. Okay, so let me just show you ternary operators in Python. Okay, so here you can just see the syntax. I already had discussed, but want you to have a clear idea about ternary. You can see here. This is a simple syntax of ternary. You can see here, right? You can choose anything of your choice, friends, any site of your choice. Okay, here true value if condition, else false value. Means it's like if condition is true, get true value, else get false value or return false value. If you see here also, we are creating a same thing here. Like more or less we are including a ternary operator here. If I percentile 2 equal to 0, print even. Else what? Else print odd, and that will be automatically added to the list. Now, if you print new list, let's see what would be the output. New even list. Let's run this code and then see here what would we see. As discussed, right? In place of that odd number, odd is placed. In place of even number, even is placed. So this is how this is going to work, friends. You got it right. So suppose I just want only even numbers even with this approach. Like let's apply this. Let's remove this else part and see if this works. This is expecting else. Print even if this is okay. Else you can do one thing. If you don't want anything, just say pass. Let's see if this works. I think we are getting an error. So it's expecting that ternary is expecting both cases here. So let's keep it like that. I'll just check if needed, okay, and come back and get back to you tomorrow. So that's all, friends. This is all about again one more style of implementing list comprehension. So this is all about what is that slicing? What is that slicing? And then about list comprehension. Also, we came across slicing. In that slicing, we see that how to apply positive and negative indexing, right? That's it, friends. One thing keep in mind, friends, when you are working in programming, if you don't know anything, first thing generally what happens is with the experience I'm saying, we get a fear that I don't know this, so I can't do. But you have to come out of that. There are many sources. If you don't know something, take the problem. First, start exploring. Go and search for that. That intent, if you develop, then definitely you can be a good developer. That's all. You don't need to. You don't fear of anything. You don't have a. You don't need to scare about anything. Just an FYI for you. Okay, that's all, friends. Only thing is you should have patience to search for that solution, and patience to get that code, and patience to refine code, and patience to test that code, and patience to get the output. For all this, what is important is patience and focus. That's all. Okay, friends, we are done with these things. I would like to cover some of the scenarios on lists. Today, we are almost out of time. Tomorrow, we have a class. Please join that session so that we try to, what we do, we try to have more scenarios covered in tomorrow's session as well. Is it okay for you to have a session tomorrow? Because there are so many things I want you to teach. That's all, friends. I want you to bring to your this thing. That's all. So, okay for tomorrow's session? Yeah. How about others? Right? Like every day, we'll have a session tomorrow.
Yeah, and I have posted this one like palindrome kind of like
Okay.
using comprehension.
Sure, sure. Naveen, sure. Anyhow, I think we'll cover this palindrome, string palindromes one more time. Okay. So definitely, we will also validate that whenever we come across few more scenarios, and good for having this as well. Okay. I like your, the good thing is that enthusiasm. Always have that, Naveen. Definitely.